Welcome to Instructions Unclear, where we talk about everything World of Warcraft. Today we're going to be talking about Shadowlands release and our experience with it. I'm Lotus, and this is Shrub Height. So this was it, dude. This was like, finally, it's freaking here. We finally made it. Like, it seemed like it took forever.
It was amazing.
I went 14 hours the night it released, so hit level 60 in about 12 to 13, somewhere in there. I know there's a lot faster people than that, but yeah, I was pretty happy.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know what actual played time it took for Tyranny and I. I didn't actually do the math.
Yeah, but whenever you guys got on, when you guys were grinding, it was quick.
Yeah.
Or it seemed like it anyway.
Well, that was, to me, that was the funniest thing, was he asked me to help him because he's a, prop paladin. And so he figured, he'll just aggro and I'll kill stuff. No. He did fine. Yeah. He carried me from 50 to 60. It was stupid.
So tanks right now are broken. Like, just, dude, in my opinion, absolutely broken. In a good way for me. Like, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with it. Don't break me anymore. But I think right now I feel like we're...
The only time I beat him on my priest was when I'd pop all my cooldowns. Like, he'd do a huge pull and I'd pop every single cooldown I had, and I could maybe beat him. It was awesome.
That's about like what I was experiencing too. Like, even in dungeons until 60, I would see myself, popping top 2 DPS all the time. After I hit 60, it started dropping a little bit. Like, I still.
But even on trash, like, you're still pretty solid.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was the surprise for, I think, everybody, was how well tanks did leveling.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like, probably the best, because I've tanked since Wrath of the Lich King. So every expansion since then, I've always just leveled tank. Like, some people go DPS and they level DPS, and this one was by far the most fun for me as a tank to level through.
That's awesome.
Because it wasn't, you can pick up the whole zone, but it takes you 45 minutes to kill it all. This time it wasn't like that. It was like, it felt good. Well, for me anyway.
Yeah.
What was your experience with the leveling? Did you do any leveling, like any solo questing?
A bit. Tyranny and I kind of ping-ponged.
Right.
Like, there'd be sections where we'd kind of like leapfrog each other.
Right.
And then when you'd get the, go to this zone, you'd have like 3 quests, and they'd be, okay, killed or get, 6 of these, 5 of this, 8 of that. Like, we'd kind of group up and tear that. And then the parts that were kind of, a lot of the main part seemed very storyline driven. So we'd kind of, if we ended up at like a boss, so to speak, one of like the big kind of end people for that little storyline or whatever, we'd wait for the other, because we were always only within 1 or 2 quests of each other in the same zone. So there was a little bit. It definitely, it was rougher than I was expecting. I remember
on
BFA. Yeah, on my own.
Okay.
I remember BFA, like what was it, 114? I think it was. It felt like you hit the wall.
Oh, yeah.
It was almost immediate.
Really?
Like, it tapered real quick, where you felt like you were not struggling, but it wasn't easy. Like, running around doing world quests and stuff randomly, the last week before Shadowlands, it just didn't fucking matter. 130 item level Shadow Priest, I was just slapping everything in the area. Yeah. It was easy. And going into Shadowlands, the stuff I did solo, it was doable. It wasn't a problem. Like, I didn't have an issue killing anything, but it was definitely, you could see the change from BFA to Shadowlands. Like, it immediately got more difficult to kill stuff.
See, and that was my one complaint, is I felt like, you know how you get that, like, that squish right at the beginning of the X pack, you know what I mean? Like, you start out and you're like so powerful in the old X pack, and you could pull everything and just kill it all, and then move into the new X pack, and it's like you get 3 mobs on you, and you're like, oh, I'm done. I'm like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
So I never felt that, and it was kind of a bummer. Now I did only I quested with a group the whole way through.
Yeah.
So that could be why, but at no point did I feel like I was being overly healed. Like I felt like it just wasn't that bad. And even now, whenever I go do Torghast, like I don't stop and get any. Whenever I do it solo, I don't stop and get any of the ability. The what are they called? Like the anima abilities or
powers or whatever.
Yeah, I don't stop and get any extras. I go straight through each level and then go straight to the boss and kill it.
Huh.
I don't have to stop and get any of the extra stuff. And
you're missing out. Those are fun.
Are they?
Yeah. I will just say it's good fun.
The only ones that I've really used was like 45% health or something like that. And like at one point I got up to almost 100k hit points before the last boss. I was like, let's go. I have more hit points than this boss. Like, it was great.
Yeah, I haven't. Tierney was saying he noticed it in Ravendreth. That's
where I noticed it.
You could tell he was getting hit harder, and we had to not change anything, but pay attention. Because I mean, he would just get on his horse, grab 5 to 10 mobs, and we'd AoE it down, and that didn't really change, other than his health would dip down to like a third sometimes, and he'd have to heal himself. But it wasn't. You noticed it, but it didn't change anything. It wasn't that big of a change.
That's kind of what I noticed too. As soon as I hit Revendreth, I was like, it was a completely different story. Like it was like, okay, fly through everything. Then we hit Revendreth. Coming up, whenever I don't want to give any spoilers, but the first few quests, whenever you get into the castle area, we get into the courtyard, and I'm just like, I'll go ham. Like I'm just gonna pick up everything, and it was like, okay, I've got 5-6 mobs on me, and I'm actually losing health at this point at a decent rate. So that's where I noticed it too. Was definitely Revendreth.
So, what was your favorite zone? Well, actually, let's go all the way to the start. What did you think about the starting sequence?
So I thought that it was good. So the beginning quest I really feel like, how whenever I'm jumping all over, but you know how whenever you enter a city sometimes and you'll get the quest that pops up?
Yeah.
And then you accept it, do whatever it tells you to do. I really feel like whenever they come out with a like X-Pack, new content patch, anything like that, that's what it should be.
So
there were so many people standing on top of the quest giver to try and start the quest.
Have you logged in on an alt?
No.
It does that.
It does that. Okay.
So it was just the sitting there waiting. We had to grab it from him there.
Okay.
Because you still, even the quest you get on an alt, it pops up and gives it to you, but you still have to go talk to him to go through or whatever. But
well, then that would be my only complaint with any X-Pack I've ever had a part of, was there's always this one guy who gets on the biggest mount that he can possibly get on, and mounts up right on top of that guy.
Well, so
there's 40 people that are on top of it.
I was gonna say they did the no mount zone, but then everybody's popping every toy they can to make themselves bigger, make it harder to see. And
there's 40 of them on top of the guy. I'm like, you can seriously click him from 15 feet away. Like, you don't even have to be that close. But yeah, that was my only complaint. All of the cutscenes in the opening, I thought it was great.
So my only complaint was how slow the RP played out.
Now, are you saying just in the beginning?
Yeah.
Or throughout?
I mean, it's a little drawn out in some areas, but it didn't feel as bad in the maw, when the opening maw, getting out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of that was so painful, like the pauses they had, and you're just like, okay.
And it was every 2 quests. You know what I mean? It was you get done with 2 things, and it's you got a 15-minute cinematic, or walking and talking. What is that? Did you notice how much walking and talking there is in this X-Pack? Everybody wants to have a conversation with you over coffee while you're walking to go kill someone.
Yep.
And it's just, it's a lot of it. Like it's a lot. That's okay. So that's another thing that I would say was definitely this expansion's very dramatic.
Yeah. But I
Let's
also
talk about it.
right. I think it played well though. Like I really enjoyed. I thought it was cool. Like it didn't obviously they had a bunch of the same quests you have every expansion, right? Run here, collect 10 feathers, bring them back to me. Run here, collect 10 tusks, bring them back to me.
Right.
But I felt like the storyline, I enjoyed it. Like
Oh yeah.
I still have to do my storyline playthrough because Tyranny was not about to sit and actually read quests. So I actually want to like go through and read it. I read, you know, I listened to all the dialogue and watched all the cutscenes. But I don't know. I liked what they did.
Oh yeah.
I
100%.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm actually looking forward to playing through parts of it again.
I'm looking forward to playing through it on my monk. I don't know that I'll watch, everything again.
No, I'll probably skip cutscenes if I'm being honest.
Seriously, like the first time through, this is the first time because usually it's like a race. Let's go. Let's get there as fast as we can. So I will skip every cutscene on my first way through, and then my alt that I bring up, I'll watch the cutscenes and check stuff out. This time I seriously watched every one of them, and the story was absolutely amazing. Like I really wanted to get deep into this X pack where it's like I want to know what's going on with the story. I want to know why we're in this raid. I want to, like. So story's great. Story's great. Everybody needs to really pay attention to the story because it's
I like
top
it.
notch. Yeah, very good.
Go
ahead.
What was your favorite zone?
Aesthetically, it's got to be Revendreth.
Yeah.
Like I love that old school like vampire gothic feel. It's really something that I haven't felt in World of Warcraft before. Like, yeah, there's zones that are like it, but it's not that old school Dracula.
Yeah.
Crazy gothic hair. Like, I think for leveling wise, I almost think it was Ardenweld. Like for the story and how pretty the zone was, like Ardenweld, 100%.
So Ardenweld was mine. I think it looked the best. Tyr and I were joking. You could notice the performance dip going into that zone.
Yeah.
They did a fantastic job. And the story was great. The posts on Reddit about people, crying their eyes out on certain parts or whatever. Like, I think they did a great job with the story there.
Yeah. One spot specifically that I can think of, I was like, oh, like I got really sad. Yeah. That was a good zone.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's tough because I think I'll even admit they did Maldrax. As much as I hate Maldraxxus, I think they did a good job with it. I just don't care for that style, that theme. Like I don't like it, but I can't say they didn't do a good job. I think these are
great.
Some of the best zones in a long time, if ever. Like,
yeah, it could be ever.
Yeah,
like it's up there. They could definitely be best zones ever in WoW.
So I'm loving Bastion.
Oh yeah, I do too. Like I was not happy to go Kyrian in the beginning.
Oh, I know.
But I'm glad I did. I really am having a good time with it. Like I do the dailies every day. I go up to my sanctum or whatever whatever you call it. I go up there all the time. It's just a cool area. Like
it actually makes me want to level alts because I want to see Ardenwald. Like I'm actually basing my alt picks off of Covenant more than anything.
Yeah.
Because I can't decide because the next two I'm doing are Ardenwald and Revendreth, and I can't decide which one I want more. Like, because I want to dive more into that and run through their campaign. Like, I don't know. I'm pumped.
I'm trying to curb my want to play my monk until I get my demon hunter to a specific milestone.
Yeah.
After I'm 184, if I hit it this week, I'll start up my monk.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat.
184 is the goal.
Yep.
For me. I'm sitting at 176.
Oh shit!
Right now.
Popped off today.
So yeah, I've done every mythic in the game except for 2.
Oh wow.
So I really feel like whenever we're done with the podcast, let's go.
Yeah,
like,
I'm down.
We can get you gear. You know what I mean? Like it's.
I think
I'm not gonna say it's easy. But
no. But I mean, that's
doable.
the point. To me,
Right.
that's the fun part of the beginning, is the race to get gear when it's not being handed to you. Like, don't get me wrong, I like end of expansion catch up mechanisms as much as the next guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I love being able to get an alt and get him into, raid or mythic plus, in a day or two. But I think the beginning of the expansion, actually having to put effort into completing a mythic, like, I think that's freaking awesome. The fact that a dungeon's actually difficult and takes some thinking and planning.
Oh yeah.
So
I can't think of a single one that there wasn't a boss that we wiped on at least one time to figure out what was going on with that new mythic dungeon mechanic.
Yeah. No, I can believe that.
Super, super cool though. Like, I can't wait for you to see it. I'm so freaking excited.
I'm a little.
What?
Oh, I'm a little nervous going in learning Disc Priest. Like, so far, I've done well in, gearing through normals and heroic. I haven't had an issue with dungeons, and a big part of that Kyrian button. I'm telling you, that shit is the oh shit button that Disc Priest needed for dungeons, anyways.
Well, that's great,
because you do fine. If it's kind of even some AoE damage, you can handle it. Like, you're fine, you can get through. But then when shit goes sideways and someone ass pulls something and whatever, like, having a proper, oh shit, I can spam a bunch of AoE heals really quick, like, solid.
That's awesome. I'm with my Kyrian ability, I like it, but it doesn't really do anything for me as a tank. Like, it increases my damage like crazy. Like, you get me a group of things and I just pop off, like, top damage, period.
But that's good for threat, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And, whenever Tyranny is the off tank, then or the main tank, keeping threat is an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I guess that's a good thing. I still almost want to go and just switch to Revendreth. Just
I mean, this is your week to do it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Does my anima change?
Yeah, you have to start all over.
No. Does my anima go with me?
I didn't think so.
Oh, then no.
Because you've deposited it into the Kyrian thing.
Yeah, but
you're not going to be like,
Can't we have some kind of like, can't we have some kind of like bank transfer or something?
So that 1,500 or so anima that I gave you, that's keeping you alive. Just give that back to me. Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go give it to these guys.
Yeah. Well, sometimes shit happens. You just change your mind.
I
was gonna say something like super messed up, and then I just decided not to. So
I don't honestly have an answer, but I would just genuinely assume that it does not come with you. Like, I
would assume so. Favorite dungeon so far? Have you done all the dungeons?
No.
Okay. So far, favorite dungeon then?
That last one we did last night. Fuck, I don't even know the name of the dungeons. The only ones I know the name of is the other side, just because.
The other side?
Yeah, that's the only one I know the name of.
I think we did. I think that was
It was the Revendreth dungeon
Yeah,
that none of us knew.
Ascension or whatever, Trials of Ascension, or I
Spires,
don't remember either. Spires of Ascension?
something
Nope,
like that.
that's a Fires of Ascension is a
Quad?
Tyrion dungeon.
Oh, okay.
I can't.
I don't
can't
know.
remember the names.
I don't know. I like that one. It was fun. This whole time off.
I really think the Mist dungeon. Have you done that one?
No.
Mist of Tira something.
I haven't
It's
done. That's an Ardenwald one, I'm assuming.
It's an Ardenwald dungeon. Absolutely amazing.
Is it? I haven't done any of theirs or either of theirs, whatever.
Oh, so good. So good.
I'm pumped. I've liked them all so far. I think whatever the one in Bastion, that's the Maldraxxus-y one.
Necrotic Waste?
Wake?
Necrotic Wake, that's it.
I don't care for that one, but it's back to that. I don't care for the Maldraxxus, necromancer.
So I don't care as a demon hunter tank, I don't care for that one because it's all magic damage.
Yeah.
And that's just a headache for me. So anytime somebody's like, "Oh, I need Necrotic Wake," I'm like,
tyranny.
I don't know a tank. Like,
I'm a Havoc demon hunter.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I've actually been running Havoc.
Well, that caught me off guard. I was texting Tyranny and he's like, "Yeah, I was running dungeons with Lotus and Aloe Mythics." I was like, "The fuck?"
I'm keeping up in damage.
That's impressive. Well,
like, what?
It's the lack of Azurite that made such a big difference for people that it's one of those, like, the ability to swap specs is gonna be nice.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if we get, I don't know what they're doing for sets, but I'm sure there's going to be set bonuses and stuff that's, going to bend it a little bit. But the need for it at the moment is really nice to be able to flip flop and not have a negative penalty.
Just switch.
Yeah.
And maybe this could bring some controversy, but maybe they'll make the set so that if you switch specs, your set bonus changes.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Which would be, that would be sick. They already have the intellect changes to agility or strength or whatever, So
yeah,
if they actually made it so that your set bonus actually flipped to
whatever,
spec, that would be pretty cool. Getting rid of the 2, 3, 4 gear sets in your bag, I'm all for that.
Oh yeah,
all for that.
Yeah,
because I know last X pack I had a heal set. I didn't run it often, but I did have a heal set on my monk. I had tank set and DPS set, and I kept it all in my bag. And it's like,
why? Like,
so much room.
Oh, it wasn't my priest, my monk. I had 2 heal sets depending on whether I was raid or dungeon healing. Had my DPS set, had my tank set. Like, it was getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm
all for condensing that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna give us the tier sets back, make it flip. Like, I'm all for that. That would be cool.
I also think the whole soulbind issue that everyone's freaking out about, like, obviously it sucks that you can't set yourself up this for both specs, right? Your main spec's gonna, you're gonna pick one and that's gonna be your main spec, and then but the fact that you have a soulbind that you can attach to a separate, like one of the other soulbinds to another spec and go, okay, when I go
makes you
this
semi-viable. Yeah. Which is nice.
Yep. I think it's good.
I'm okay with that too. Yeah, I think that's in a good spot as well. I don't have a bad thing to say about it as of yet.
Same.
Like, it's gonna come down to months into the X pack where people are gonna the game's gonna change. Next week alone, the game's gonna change.
I'm curious what they do tuning wise in regards to raid, because they were making tuning updates on beta up until like the day before Shadowlands is released.
Yeah.
Now they've said they're not going to do massive covenant changes that would force people to swap, except or outside of major patches.
Major patch, yep.
I don't believe them. If
No,
I'm being
I know.
honest, like
I know.
it's the right thing to say,
Yeah.
but I don't know if someone finds a combination of covenant, whether it's conduits, soulbind, power, your legendary, like, and just breaks everything that's in convention,
Right.
and you go into mythic and you've just got someone pumping double what everybody else in that range is doing. Like, they're not going to let that go. There's no chance.
I don't know what they're doing, but I've ran into 2 unholy DKs under 155 eye level on 2 targets pushing 4,000 DPS on 2 targets.
Holy
And
shit.
they were both Necrolord. I don't know what it is that has to do with it, but they were both Necrolord, both pushing over 4,000. And then Cheap was in one today, and he ran into the same thing. Another unholy DK, Necrolord, just pumping.
Yeah.
I was like, no clue.
I will say, I suspect if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen after Heroic release. They're gonna release Heroic Raid, and they're gonna pay close attention to what everyone's doing and what the numbers are and what everything looks like. And I wouldn't be surprised to see one come mythic that they're gonna change it.
Mythic drop?
Yeah. It's gonna be shitty because you might force, certain people to hard swap covenants on mythic and, be behind, because they've admitted you can get, you can sort of catch up and be viable within a couple days, and then, a couple weeks you'll catch back up. Now, we're early enough. I don't think the catch up we're only a couple weeks in. It's probably not going to take you a couple weeks to catch up, but it's a grind nonetheless. And
right.
So I'm curious to see, because I still think they didn't get it right. They got it close. From what I can tell and what I've read, is it's a lot closer for a lot of specs between the two. It's not your wild, like, some still have wildly you go this or you're an idiot.
Right.
But it seems like they got it
Like
close. But they didn't get it right. Like, they didn't nail it. And I don't know. I see changes coming.
I see changes coming. I feel like if they do come out with changes, at least for from a tanking standpoint, I think that I will be able to look at other things if they do change things the way that I'm hoping that they do. I feel like I'll be able to look at other things and go, okay, I can either get more defense or a little more damage by staying with Kyrian. I don't think it's going to be like that deadly, I've got to switch. I have to switch. I really feel like it's going to be a very subtle, like, yeah, I could take a little damage reduction, but then I'm going to lose this damage that I get. So that's how I feel anyway.
I hope the shift is small, because as it stands, even for me, going like Venthir's the best for raid.
Yeah,
that ability is just fucking great for raid, but it would work in Mythic Plus, but it wouldn't be anything special, because most of your issue isn't on Mythic boss fights, on Trashback trying to do big pulls, and it's not that great. So whereas the Kyrian ability in raid is still used, it's a little harder to use than the Venthir. Like, the Venthir one's so easy to time with your ramp, because you put it on the boss and then it heals the people damaging it. Whereas Kyrian, you actually have to be kind of, it's harder to time in your ramp.
I feel like there's situations where that'll be huge for you in Disc. In the current raid that's coming out. I don't know how much like of the fights you've watched or anything, but I feel like there's going to be times where that's going to be huge for Disc Priest.
Yeah.
In raid.
Yeah.
So
I have not gotten through all of them yet.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like there's a few bosses in there that you're going to be like, wow, like, I'm going to be the hero right there. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like that's going to be a thing. Just thinking about it.
So I'm excited, though.
Oh, yeah. So this coming week is Mythic Plus release, correct?
Isn't it Mythic Plus normal and heroic?
No, normal heroic doesn't come out till the 8th.
Yeah.
And I believe this next week is cap raises
So
for
I quickly
Renown,
Googled.
right?
Yeah, it should be every. Yeah.
Every Tuesday.
I quickly Googled Mythic Plus release because I got into a debate with Tyranny on it. The quick Google showed the old dates and said Mythic Plus Season 1 releases with normal and heroic. Which, if that's the case.
Now, wait a minute. Blizzard news. Once the gates of Castle Nathria open on December 8th, Shadowlands Season 1 will also begin, which introduces a new seasonal affix and mythic keystones. Now, does that mean that we're going to get them, but we're not going to have a season with the new affix, or are we just not getting them until...
We're not getting them until the 8th.
Castle Nathria.
So we've got 2 weeks of mythic farming, basically. Which means alt time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Which that actually makes me a little happy. I can get my shaman
gives
up.
me a little more time too, actually.
I don't know if I'm gonna push to get my shaman to the same place as my priest. What the fuck?
Something really loud. It was it was an ad. I was looking up something on Wowhead and an ad popped up and it was loud, dude. It scared the shit out of me. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, wow.
But I think my goal is to get my shaman ready as backup. Like there's that fight we've talked about that, having a spirit link would be good. And if it turns out
Sun King, the last boss. Really.
If it turns out that that's, necessary for us to get it down going in when we first go in. Okay. I'll bring that. Like one of those, like I want to get him up there, but I plan on focusing on the priest. Like I want the shaman to be backup if there's a use case, but I don't plan on putting effort to keep him even once we start rolling through like normal and into heroic.
Right.
He'll get what he gets. We'll see.
Right. I want to get my monk up. I want to see how it feels.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I may just hard swap. Like YOLO, resto shaman.
Same. Like if I get on my monk and it feels very good. I'm not taking damage. I have a lot more. There is a lot of crowd control. Like not like pre-pool crowd control. I'm talking like in the pool, lots of things need to be interrupted. Lots of things need to be, paralyzed would be absolutely great for some of those casters that I just can't get in. So I feel like there's a possibility that the monk could be the play, which I knew that already. But the demon hunter's doing so good, man. I'm really loving it. So we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. Probably this next week. That's what I was telling Trink. Probably this next week I'll do my weekly stuff every day on my demon hunter, keep him up where he needs to be, and then take a day, get the monk up and start working on him as well.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm happy with the demon hunter right now. So let's I want to talk about like further going on with the channel, if you would be interested in talking about that.
Yep.
What do you think about, like I want to do other content, like other WoW content, of course.
Yeah, no, I want to get into some dungeon guides. I want to play with that. What I think might be fun to do would be like a weekly affix guide. What do you want to call it?
That is a great idea.
And just never do the same dungeon back to back, but just do a quick 15-20 minute whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the new things, here's what happens. Here's shrub not healing, lotus, killing keys type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You gotta get all the good content in there. So yeah, I'm hoping in the future, since you upload the podcast, you take a video and I'll take 2 videos. Maybe we can come out with 3 videos a week.
Yeah.
Besides the podcast, you know what I mean? So that way we're both doing 2 videos. Editing and throwing them up.
And we got to do our WoW cookbook video.
We
series.
do. Yes, we
so
really
my
do.
wife surprised me for Thanksgiving today and made the carrots.
Were they good?
Yeah.
Were they really?
Yeah. It was.
Are they sauteed carrots, right?
Something like that. I forget the name of it, and I forgot to look it up right before this, but she made sure. I'll post a picture of it somewhere in the video. I'll pop it up. But she made sure to take a picture of it so we could see it. And it wasn't I know we had plans for doing that, but she kind of went last minute and did it and was like, here, you can talk about this. And it was, they were actually really good. They looked pretty spot on to what the cookbook. Now she's got infinitely more talent in the kitchen than I do. So when we get to it, it'll be a whole nother story when I start making it. But
I'm gonna have to make sure, we're gonna have to pick which, like if you want to do it next week or whatever, we're gonna have to pick, what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna have to probably go get the stuff to do it, because like I had flour and stuff, but today was Thanksgiving, so there's like 5 pies in my kitchen and like some cakes and all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
I'm gonna probably have to go get stuff, but yeah, I'm totally down to do that. But I think it would be cool if, Shadowlands is here. I think it would be a great thing to start trying to pop up some videos. I know that there is a few bosses in Mythic dungeons that people are going to have some questions about. And I think it would be cool. Me and you go in there, I'll show you what's up, and we can kind of do a video about it.
I'm down.
Pretty sweet. So, I don't really know what else.
Yeah.
Great X Pack. Blizzard, you're doing something right now. Like,
pumped about it. We'll have more info, next week as things go on.
Next week.
I think this was...
Everybody get ready. Your renown goes up, so you need to cap that. Make sure you're capping your soul ash in Torghast. What else is there? Stygian, but Stygia. What?
I haven't figured out what it's for.
Like,
it's something to do with your covenant and all that jazz. So
it just sounds more confusing than I need it to be. Just give me renown. Give me soul ash.
They've already
what?
They've already set the precedent that this is the currency expansion. They always talk about trying to lower the amount of currencies they have, and coming into this expansion, I think it's the most amount of currencies we've had.
Oh yeah, it's clearly
at the start. I mean, a lot of them you end up with 8 at the end, but
yeah, we've got 10 at the start. We're gonna have 25 at the end. Hey man, I'll trade you 52,000 soul ash for 150 anima. So, I mean, that's what it's gonna end up being. Everybody's gonna be jonesing for things and trading it off.
Yep.
But yeah, I think keep playing great dungeons. Get out there, check out the dungeon content. Story's awesome. About all I know right now.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you on the next one.